Martin Luther, the founder of anti-Catholicism, Protestantism, said, "Reason is the devil's prostitute and can do nothing else but slander and dishonor what God does and says." But before we answer this arch-prostitute and devil's bride, we first want to prove our faith, not by setting forth capitals or periods or tuto-tauta, but by clear, sober passages from Scripture, which the devil will not overthrow. If you wanted to know why American evangelical Protestants are so irrational, now you know. They see reason as seductive, as a prostitute that beguiles vulnerable people to abandon their faith. Of course, the exact opposite is true. It's demented faith based on absurd stories that seduces people away from reason, which most people, especially Protestants, find inconvenient, difficult, and unappealing. Faith is so much easier and, believable. Martin Luther said, "As to the common people, one has to be hard with them and see that they do their work, and that under the threat of the sword and the law they comply with the observance of piety, just as you chain up wild beasts." That's nice of you to say, Martin. Did you ever work for ICE? Luther said, "All our experience with history should teach us, when we look back, how badly human wisdom is betrayed when it relies on itself. Reason is the greatest enemy that faith has. It never comes to the aid of spiritual things, but, more frequently than not, struggles against the divine word, treating with contempt all that emanates from God. Reason should be destroyed in all Christians. It has been, Martin. All Protestants are irrational, as they prove over and over again, especially in who they vote for politically." Luther said, "Reason is the devil's greatest whore. By nature and manner of being, she is a noxious whore. She is a prostitute, the devil's appointed whore eaten by scab and leprosy, who ought to be trodden underfoot and destroyed. She and her wisdom. Throw dung in her face to make her ugly. She is, and she ought to be drowned in baptism. She would deserve the wretch to be banished to the filthiest place in the house, to the toilet. Actually, I think faith should be flushed down the toilet and society should be founded in reason and logic.